see that thing yesterday on the TV? It was ready, 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 interesting.
How's it?
Hi, Russell.
Hello.
It's Luke, and you've brought a friend.
I brought my best friend.
Your best friend.
My bestie.
Your bestie.
There's a wing of the internet that refers to wifeys as your hottest homie.
Okay.
I don't know whether you've ever seen that.
I have
No.
not, no.
Okay, you brought along your hottest homie.
I did. This is my wife, Carine Rous.
Nice to meet you, Carine.
Nice to meet you.
And it's nice to see you properly in person because I've looked at your face for
And heard you speak Afrikaans.
for quite a lot of yesterday.
Okay, thank you for watching it.
You guys are the team, or some members of the team, behind Bruid van die Jaar.
That's it. Bride van die jaar.
Bride of the Year. How's my Afrikaans?
Mooi.
Bruid
sounds
van
good.
die Jaar.
Ja, Bruid van die Jaar, ja.
How Afrikaans are you guys?
I was born van Westhuizen, so very Afrikaans, I guess, but went to an English school. That's where I met Luke. So, yeah.
I understand everything, and my kids are bilingual, but I don't speak it that
But
well.
are you guys high school sweethearts?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we have a long history.
What school?
Willow Ridge High School in Pretoria.
Willow Ridge.
Our claim to fame is us, I guess.
Yeah,
No,
nice.
not really. But Roland Skuman, he came from there.
James Alexander came from there.
I don't know who
Yes.
James Alexander is.
He has passed away, but he was very big actor in Trackers. He married to
Oh,
Anel
cool.
Alexander.
Okay.
Worked overseas as well. And Joshua Rouse, who's
brother,
the
he went
director
there,
of the
yeah.
film.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
No, sorry, no.
I think we've had
Emmett
this
David's cousin.
I think we've had this conversation before, and that's when I dropped the Elon bomb.
Yes.
Where I was like, oh yeah, my school, we had Elon Musk for a little bit.
Yeah.
And he hated it. he was teased.
You know, someone who went to Pretoria Boys High always has the tendency of like, okay, what school did you go to? Let me just,
Well, for me, it's Bryanston. He was at Bryanston for a bit.
Yeah, you went to Pretoria Boys as well.
I think he went to Pretoria for longer because
have.
he got teased at Bryanston.
Okay.
Oh,
Arguably, like one of the most significant figures in history. I love it.
Yeah, it's true. Did you tease him?
No, we are far and different in age, I believe.
He's a couple decades
He's
ahead of you.
he's a little bit older.
Yeah.
A little more established. Luke, it's lovely to have you back.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate you having us. This is my third time. I think.
Yeah, you are a good friend of this. You're a loyal customer, and we appreciate it. We had you on for Lucky Fish.
That's right.
Then we had you on for a very cool episode where you gave us quite a lot of insight behind the industry.
Yeah,
Because you yourself are the producer of this film,
that's right.
Bruid van die Jaar, and also a producer in general. So I'd love to touch on that. So we'll get into that at some point because I'd love to, perhaps you can give folks just a little bit of a recap of that last chat we had.
Sure, the state of play, what things are looking like in our industry.
Yeah, and sort of where we're at now. I'd love to talk to you guys together about how we make a Netflix romcom.
Sure, let's dive into it.
How that happens, how we go about doing it, the fact that Carine, you were produced by your husband and directed by your brother-in-law.
yeah.
What that's all like, but also just chat in general about all sorts of lovely things.
Great.
Let's perhaps start with as a couple. What have we watched recently? Are you returning anything to this video store?
Yes, thank you so much. We love your video store. It's got some old classics in
It's
it.
got old classics. It's got everything. It's got the latest releases.
Yeah. So, what did we watch together recently the other day?
Wow.
What have you enjoyed?
I mean,
Or also not enjoyed?
okay. So who's the guy who makes all of these, modern westerns in the States? Taylor
Sheridan.
Taylor Sheridan, right? So he
Yellowstone.
exactly
all
he
of
came
those.
out with his latest series called The Madison, which people were raving about not because of its saucy, crazy storylines, but because it was like this epic love story between this husband and wife, and
Okay.
so it obviously appealed to the.
Yeah, it totally appealed to me because I'm kind of like not keen to watch something raunchy, or we have young kids. So if I'm watching something, they could walk in at any time. And
Yeah.
it's Michelle Pfeiffer. I'm such a fan of her work. And it's Kurt Russell and
Yeah, geez, those are
Matthew
big names.
Fox, who I didn't recognize from Party of
Party of
Five,
Five.
and
Okay.
The last time I
Yeah.
saw him on TV or in a movie was that Alex Cross thing with Tyler Perry. He played the bad guy, and Tyler Perry was trying to.
Matthew Fox.
he was in
Yes.
Party of Five. You know, the incredibly responsible
I
eldest
remember.
brother.
Lost.
As well.
The Doctor in Lost.
I fall into the category of people who kind of missed Lost.
I
Oh,
missed
wow.
Lost as well.
I get so much hate
I
from
know.
our other chummies behind the counter.
But I
here.
feel like I gained a lot of my life by not watching it.
Me too. Because it sounds like it sort of ended on a confusing note.
Yes.
The diehards
controversial.
know what happened. Everyone else was
Yeah.
just confused.
But the Madison was a lot of fun, actually, and really,
Okay,
really
was it-
beautiful,
was it good?
scenically beautiful.
Where is it available?
Oh,
Mnet?
geez, like
It's an Mnet thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
that's right.
DSTV thing,
Okay,
isn't it?
Yeah, because my parents are watching it.
Paramount, right? Because Sheridan has his deal
Okay.
with Paramount. Man, he just keeps pumping them out. He's
So-
got
Okay.
about 7 shows.
Well, he bought the big farm, so
Yeah.
it's like, let's
That's
just
the
film in
thing.
it.
So in the first episode, there's this shot, and I say to Luke, "Oh my word, this is where they filmed A River Runs Through It, A River Runs Through It." And then I saw at the end of the first episode, it's dedicated to Robert Redford, and it's a photo of A River Runs Through It because it's what they watch as a family. I don't think this is giving anything away.
No.
I'm trying to think if I'm
It doesn't
giving
matter. Give it
Doesn't
away.
matter.
the
Go
father
ahead.
figure that is her husband who passes away, and she goes back to visit the farm that he would go and visit his brother at once a year. And it's escaping New York City, and it's showing you kind of the difference of, I think they're trying to express to people, you might think having the New York apartment and having this, having a lot of money is going to be the answers to it. And yet it's actually your relationships that are incredibly important. And interesting that that didn't filter through to the daughters. The daughters,
Or these
it's-
kind of posh,
Yeah.
socialite, modern
Okay,
New
so
York.
Yeah.
and this is all set in the modern day, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Which
Yeah.
is a change for him, right? Usually he does these historic period pieces.
Yeah.
Although I guess Landman is contemporary. And then that one, the King of Queenstown or the Kingstown, King of Kingstown. I can't remember.
He
that
does
one.
a lot.
Oh, he does.
He
That
does a
guy.
lot.
he's
I mean,
doing something now again. I saw it, an ad. Oh, man.
to be able to buy that ranch,
Yeah.
that's many hundreds of millions of
That's
dollars.
big money.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's talk about our movie.
Sure.
Carine, apparently this was partly inspired by you to some degree.
So, it comes from
That's
my
what
fourth
Luke
year
mentioned.
cabaret. Yeah, we don't sing in the film. I need to say that because when I say cabaret, people are like, oh, what's happening
Okay.
here? Yeah.
Some
But yeah,
dancing, a lot of dancing in the film.
Tell me about, okay, well, just for starters, we call it the back of the box, which is what we would see on the back of this DVD box for the film. What is the story about?
You go, Luke.
Okay, sure.
And keep in mind, this is the guy that's had to pitch it in many different
Yes.
rooms. And
I haven't pitched it in a while, but sure. I mean, it's funny the back of the box because there will never be a DVD box for this film. It's
Funny,
it's
yeah.
a Netflix release. So the film is based on this famous South African competition, Bruid van die Jaar, which has been going for the last 50 years. It's a Beeld newspaper write-in competition where newlyweds will send in their photos, their bridal photos, and the story of how they met. And these were traditionally, printed into a newspaper, and then people cut out their favorite bridal couple, send it in, and vote like that. It's all gone digital
is
nowadays.
that how they did it?
That's how they did
so
it. Well,
funny.
you had to buy the newspaper in order to cut it out, right? And so, there's a bride of the month selected, and then those 12 brides of the month compete in a gala event for the bride of the year. And you can win a bunch of appliances and a second honeymoon. But really, it's become this cultural identifier of success and of happiness and joy. And so we took that idea of somebody who's desperate for the sense of identity and family that this competition brings and embodies, and created a story around it. And the story goes around Linky Kukamoor, who's, when we meet her, she's this orphan girl who has to watch through the gate as, weekend after weekend, newlywed couples come out of the church.
Yeah.
And she's just desperately longing for that sense of family and belonging. And then we jump, 40 years into the future and 30 years into the future, and she is on her wedding day. She's a wedding cake designer, baker, and she's proudly putting the last touches on her wedding cake, and she's about to get married to this guy, Zander, and Zander's mother, her future mother-in-law, is obsessed with this competition, the Bruid van die Jaar competition. And so on her wedding day, that's the most important thing, getting the pictures, getting the light right, making sure that that Linky can win Bruid van die Jaar because Zander's mother, her future mother-in-law Norma, who's played by Hanlie Rolfs, who does a great job, is obsessed with the competition because she was a runner-up in 1986. And she wants,
89, yeah.
Excuse me, 89. And she wants her chance to win it this time. So you can already see Linky's like marrying into not the best family. And then when she discovers Zander is having a gefuffel in the bed with her bridesmaid.
I like that you used the word gefuffel.
Yes.
That was a word I somehow used in my life, and many people didn't really know what I was talking about. But yeah, so she finds him cheating, and that sort of sets it all up.
Yep. And her life kind of comes crashing down, and she set this high expectation up for herself of what happiness will be, and she needs to hit these certain goals by a certain time, and then she drowns her sorrows a little bit, and she gets pickpocketed by a con man.
Is this one on the back of the DVD?
Shucks,
Yeah,
no,
this
okay.
is quite a long.
I've gone on
I
to the
can
front.
do that bit.
Okay,
I can't do the log line.
let me finish it off then. So then, when she finds out her ex-fiancé has won the Bruid van die Maand competition, she's determined to get her revenge. She decides to win the Bride of the Year, Bruid van die Jaar, except she doesn't have a husband. And that's the break.
A revenge rom-com.
Yeah.
It's a revenge rom-com. Yeah. So just to touch on the one character that you mentioned is she gets fleeced by this dude.
Frank.
Frank, played by Bauer.
Bauer Bosch.
Bauer Bosch.
The
He
legend.
did a great job.
Wonderful,
a
yeah.
fantastic
Fucking great
job.
actor.
Yeah.
He's a very good comedic actor. We know this. But he just feels very comfortable in that role because that was largely shot in London, and I know he lives like in London.
Yeah.
So I don't think going to Brian Lara and like talking to women is like too difficult of a stretch for old Boa. But he becomes this very interesting character who she ropes in to be her kind of pretend husband.
Yeah.
What I love is that in a way, when we see the story, we kind of know these tropes and we sort of know how it might play out. And we, of course, know like they're pretending to be in love, but we know they'll kind of get in love. And so there is this like delightful formula we can get behind as an audience. When you started planning this, because I know, Carine, you were involved in the writing, hey?
Yeah, not writing the script, but the planning of the story and
Well, even more so that, the
yeah.
planning of the story is like, what were those little moments that you knew were formulaic, but you kind of had to touch on? How did you go about that?
So my brain always goes to the non-formulaic. So we knew we were making a rom-com, and we were like, we are selling a rom-com. We are selling, I guess like you would say, we are doing this delicious cake. We're not doing anything brand new. But we want to give you these tidbits that you didn't expect in the cake.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sorry, is more to say that we understand the formulas and we understand the touch points so that we know how to play with them.
Yeah. I think you can speak a lot more about that. I think what I really liked was that Joshua just said, the director of the film, he said, if she goes back to Zander, I will lose respect for the character. So in a normal rom-com, you would have the female trying to win back her ex. And it was kind of like, she's not going to go for that, but she's going to get at the woman that has destroyed her life, which is supposed to be her future mom-in-law. But I think we are such lovers of rom-coms. You can touch base on like the fun and games and the usual, I guess the save the cat beats of the book.
I think, we like we were talking in the beginning, some of our favorite rom-coms are French Kiss and My Best Friend's Wedding,
Sleepless in Seattle.
Sleepless in Seattle. But My Best Friend's Wedding and French Kiss to a degree, like have these different kind of plot points that change course and track during the film. I'm not going to get into those ones too much now, but
that's right. In My Best Friend's Wedding, she's trying to hook up with the dude.
She's trying to win him back. You know?
She does. And
This is just like, and it's great because this is just straight up revenge.
Yes.
But it's got these beautiful fun and game scenes where they do that set piece where they're singing "The Moment I Wake Up" in the restaurant when they're having lobster. So it's got these beautiful set pieces, and I think we really wanted that where we would have a dance sequence or someone falling into water that people would kind of go back and say, "I'd love to watch the fun and games again."
I think like the real trick with rom-coms, not to get too technical, but essentially you know what you're signing up for, right? These two people are gonna get together, and the push and pull is where the trick comes in, and it's really hard to get that, to make that believable and realistic. But essentially, the audience is entering a contract with the filmmakers from the beginning to saying, okay, cool, I know how this is going to end, but I will go along the ride and the journey, and I'll allow myself to suspend disbelief and do it. And so, why are they so popular? Why do people love them? Why are they perennial hits? You guys, you cinephiles, may not enjoy them, but they are.
No, we do.
There's it's a massively popular genre around the world, and it cuts across age group and it cuts across culture, and it's really because, like, where can you see what, if you get it right, like true love happening in front of you? And it's very rare and difficult, and that's what we're trying to make happen. And sometimes you get it right, and sometimes you don't.
It's a fantasy in so many ways for us as the audience, but also for your character, where it's like you have this idea of love, and you have this idea of how it could be, and so it is lovely when you do play with those tropes in different ways. But this was partly based on something for you, Carine. What was this? Where was this?
So my 4th year with Cabaret, I was quite,
what's Cabaret?
Cabaret is singing, but it comes from Germany, basically, where it was almost like protest theatre or against the propaganda about what was happening in World War II. It was the only safe space that you could get on stage and say what you thought of Hitler, what you thought of political parties.
That's the history of Cabaret in
is
general.
a long history, and you've got French Cabaret, which is like Le Chat Noir, which is the French cat. Everyone's seen that poster, which is maybe a bit more content was a bit more sexual, but it was the only space you were allowed to embody a character on stage, make a comment about what was happening in the world, and kind of be safe. In South Africa, we had protest theatre, which was
in the
like,
name of acting.
Yes, in the name of acting, you're saying I'm playing a character. So, and there's a film, Cabaret, which I think will be a good explanation of it. But you need to embody.
It's Liza Minnelli.
Yes, You need to embody like the 7 deadly sins. They're rules in Cabaret. 7 deadly sins, parody, satire, and irony. And so it's very interesting.
Where were you studying? Where was this?
Victoria Tech. I think it's changed now to Tshwane University, University of Technology. But
this is you doing an acting degree.
So singing class and I specialized in cabaret. They allow 12 people to do it. I don't have an incredible singing voice, but I enjoyed the writing of it, and I enjoyed the tongue-in-cheek kind of process of cabaret. And it's interesting because I felt quite, I had a wrong idea of marriage. I was quite repulsed by marriage. I think I've got a lot of Frank, is a lot of my own self in my 20s.
Character,
And I was studying with a lot of women that were like, they just wanted to get married. They wanted to have a wedding day, and that would be it. And I was like, but that's not a marriage. And I also didn't think marriage is kind of like just a certificate that you had. There was more to it. And my college professor said to me, you're going to be preaching at people. They don't want to hear about that. If you feel so strongly about it, treat it very frivolously. So then you got to pretend like marriage doesn't mean anything. It's just a piece of paper, so that people kind of sit up and like, okay, whoa, it's not just that. And the way that I could tell the story was I needed a medium to write it in, and it was Linky. Back then she was DeLonge, who had been kind of hurt in a previous relationship by an ex who had cheated on her, and she then decides to marry 4 different men. So you've got your 7 deadly sins of she's gluttonous by marrying 4 men to enter the Bruid van die Maand competition to win Bride of the Year. And that's how she's kind of going to be affirmed in who she is. And then you've got the different men represent other of the 7 deadly sins and themes that are part of the 7 deadly sins. So it is kind of like you can watch this person who's very upset about the idea of marriage and is going to win a competition and show how she feels about it. But that's where it really started, and Bride of the Year was a real thing.
In the beginning idea, it was that she was doing it as a political sort of commentary on
I guess
well,
on
what was-
marriage, saying
on marriage,
trouwens
saying-
nie perkoop nie, like you can't, I could just marry my second cousin because it's legal to marry my second cousin. So if I
Okay.
just find my second cousin and she's finding these 4 men to marry, and some of them, and I asked a bunch of people, why would you marry someone if you were not marrying for love?
Yeah.
And money is obviously one, kind of citizenship is another one.
Yeah.
But I think when you're in love with someone's talent, but not necessarily with them, that is something. And so there were 4 different men that she married that,
lovely.
to win it,
But
to
that was-
better her chances.
And that was an amazing, wonderful story. And we took that kernel of an idea of
Sure.
how this competition means something more than just its surface level. And it has a kind of a depth to it within this Afrikaans subculture of women who want to be perfect, who want to win at life to a degree, you know, and the weird, it's not so prevalent right now. Well, I guess it's still around, but this idea that, well, if I get married, when I get to that point in my life, I'll have achieved some happiness, you know,
Yeah.
that there's a finish line I'll be happy with,
Yeah.
which is a concept and a thematic we're debunking and working with in the film. So then for the last 20 years, we've been working on that idea.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so Carine finished that in, 2005, 6, somewhere
yeah,
there?
2005, yeah.
And you got to perform it.
Yeah,
What's
we
the
did it
song?
as an exam. And my head, the lecturer who was the head of our department, Vautrin Tron, is in the film. It was not planned. She's cast as Tanitini. So it was like
who was
this
that?
Tanitini in the old age home who's
Yeah.
walking her down the aisle.
Oh,
she was like
very
my
sweet.
head lecturer. And it was like, this is incredible. This is a 4th-year cabaret that you oversaw
Yeah.
that we're making a film of now.
It was a full circle moment.
Oh,
Josh,
lovely.
the director, my brother, also was his lecturer as well, head of department. So yeah, we had this idea, we were playing with it, we had different iterations of it, different writers on the script for a long time, and we really got stuck in this place where for a long time we thought the character needed to be obsessed with this competition. And in order for that to be like what was playing out in the plot, then she needed to have some deep wound, and that always drove us into a place where the story became much darker or heavier. It wasn't as lighthearted. We couldn't be
Yeah.
as frivolous with it. And we were, I guess, 6-7 years we were stuck in that place.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm trying to make the film the whole time, you know,
Yeah.
trying to pitch it, trying to find enough money. I got offers from Hamnet, but it was never the right budget, and we needed something, not a massive amount of money, but a little bit more than what they were offering. And then Marine Reddy, who
Yeah, we know. Yeah.
you know, from Lucky Fish, and is an incredible writer who was in a workshop with us, and he's like, he had this light bulb moment. He said, well, why don't we make it, instead of her being obsessed with it, why don't we make it a revenge thing? So she's not the one obsessed with it, somebody else is obsessed with it, and in order to get her revenge, she steals it from them, tries to steal it from them. And that was a great turning point in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
a
trajectory.
revenge
No,
rom-com,
it adds a nice little thing to it, because it is revenge, but it remains about her sort of still doing it for herself, and it is still her dream. But the whole thing you were waiting for her is for her to click, like, that's not everything.
And family is not necessarily, I guess, like a traditional nuclear family, you know? It is
Yeah.
your friends, your community, and I think she learns that with the character of Frank.
Yeah.
The most unlikely idea of family is what ends up being her big turning point, yeah.
Lovely. How do we then get a Netflix film made? How does that work?
Ah, man.
How old
was a
is
long
Anna
road.
Jo? She's 7?
Yeah, my daughter just turned 7, and I remember having the first meeting I had with Netflix when they were just kind of entering the market was on the day I brought her home from the hospital. You know what that feels like.
Oh, yes.
So that was 7 years ago. So it took a
Waiting
long
for the
time.
nurse for the jaundice bed to get to our house. Luke is like, I got to go to a meeting.
Yeah.
Netflix is in the country. I
Yeah.
was like, okay.
So
Oh, jeez.
we weren't pitching.
Was that your firstborn?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so I missed your last visit for when Emmy was born, and you guys did that episode without me because I was busy staring at this little creature who was busy staring back at me.
And now, surprisingly, Maren is in the same position you're
Oh,
in.
really?
He's 6
Yeah.
weeks in. Yeah, he's just had a daughter.
So,
Leia.
Leia.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Leia ready.
I
Lovely.
did plant the seed of Ray, but they went
They
for
went with
Leia.
He went for Leia, and he could pull it off in his like sort of ethnicity and culture.
Yeah, yeah.
You could get away with it. But I think if you'd have like a white kid and you call her Leia, everyone's going to be like, Star Wars much?
Well, her room is covered in Star Wars.
She's
So-
got no choice. It's
yeah.
the same as our little girl who's is staring up at a little mobile of horses.
Oh,
Her horse mother is giving her no choice.
okay.
So yeah, we met with Netflix a couple years ago. They were entering the market. They've been in the market now 10 years in South Africa, but producing original stuff.
But they've never had an office here, right?
no, they
there's no
ran out of
form-
Amsterdam. Yeah,
There's no formal office for Netflix in South Africa.
No.
There's no desk.
no.
They
The whole
come in
EMEA
from
team
Amsterdam.
is in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
But
And they
they've got-
fly out quite regularly. Yeah.
And do they have some producers on the ground floor here? Like
Yes,
Robbie?
they have. Robbie Thorpe is
Yeah.
one of their kind of
We
fixer
know Robbie
producers.
Thorpe, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a customer, yeah.
Yeah, and they're expanding the team as we go. And Afrikaans is kind of a growing market for them. So this is an
Yeah.
experiment. So, they're treating it cautiously. We're hopeful that more Afrikaners will come onto the platform and there'll be more Afrikaans content, more local content.
Yeah, and I'm sure they've also been aware that one of the bigger streamers is folding
Yes.
that had a lot of local and also a lot of all different language content. And so
You're
there's
referring
gotta-
to Showmax now,
yeah,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
yeah.
So there's got to be a kind of a place for it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into that later. I'm not so sure that the content will be recycled into
Yes.
DSTV Now or whatever
Yeah.
Canal Plus's version of their VOD
Sure,
platform will be.
sure.
But it's been a rough ride for VOD platforms in Africa.
Yeah.
I have a theory on that. But so we met with them, and then we signed a development deal with Netflix, like a multi-title development deal in 2022, 23, somewhere there. And that was to develop 5 things, and maybe you look at producing a few of them. And 2 of them we had written and got quite far down the line, and then they got cancelled. And we pitched Bright in one of this, and they were looking at Afrikaans stuff. And
Yeah.
it's weird how this one was the first one that came out of the gate, for us at least.
Yeah.
And we pitched to Dorothy Kuteba and Rispa, and they loved it. It was great. It was just like, yeah, that makes total sense. This really works well. Let's go ahead. Let's do it.
Yeah. And were you always going to be the bride?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did. When we did get it, I was like, listen, we planned to shoot this when I was in my 20s. I'm 43. It's okay if you need to
You
go with
pull off
someone else.
30.
And but then
you-
Luke
but no,
said
but you
I'm
also-
contracted, yeah.
Yeah, you also built that into the.
Absolutely. I was like, she's 42. They're like, no, I think we can say 39. And 39 is on that cusp where a lot of women feel like my time is running out.
Yeah.
I would like to have a child before 40. And she's held on to this character for 10 years now. So I think they said 39 would still work.
No,
So we went with that.
It's part of
Yeah.
part of what makes the character. Okay, when did we shoot this?
We shot it a year ago.
Okay.
In winter 25 in our home little
In your
neighborhood.
neighborhood, you guys live in Linden,
Yeah,
right?
we
do.
live in Linden. We wanted to shoot in Patensi, which is like
that?
That's in the Eastern Cape.
Yeah.
It's close to the coast. It's like
by
this-
the Anskloof.
Yeah, the citrus valleys
Okay.
over there. And we even went and scouted those locations because we thought it was going to be kind of a, at that point, whatever it was, 12 years ago, there was a big surge of Afrikaans films happening in the Plattelande. There was, what is the one that kicked it all off, Liefling, and then after that it was the,
Semisut also was Franschhoek a bit.
yes.
Sure,
Yeah.
no, listen, it's
Yeah.
pretty out there.
So
It's
we're like, oh, this
beautiful.
is what the Afrikaans audience wants to see. And I think with the big change I mentioned of, the dynamic of the character, we're like, no, it doesn't have to. Like, why are we're gonna spend half the budget just getting everyone down there?
That was
doesn't make
Misha
sense.
Meyer, who Tom Mare, who shot the film.
Okay.
It's his wife who years ago said to us, "You're going to put up a crew there, and you're not going to see the value on screen. If you're
Yeah.
shooting in Joburg, you've got incredible crew. Shoot it in Johannesburg, and then you can
Yeah.
spend the budget on screen." And then we held on to that.
I think the thing we wanted
It's a
to
nice
keep,
nugget to work with.
yeah, it was that we wanted this like small town kind of community feel, which you get in Linden, actually.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
no.
looked at Irene as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but then
And-
Linden was like, we had children, and we were like, we'd like to be home at night and see them.
Yeah.
It becomes
sure.
super important.
And for
yeah.
me, it was like roll out of bed and make a movie. That's how I want to do it.
Yeah.
So we shot it in Brian Lara and the Whippet. And
But
Yeah,
it
it was very cool seeing these places that I've spent a lot of time in.
Yeah.
Sort of little tweaked and changed. You know, you've added pops of color and you've
Are you a
added certain
Lindenite,
things.
Russell?
I mean, there was a time, totally. No,
Okay.
Brian Lara was a lovely place to hang out when it was. I remember when it first came, and I remember the people behind it being very smart at kind of seeing these trends and noticing that. You know, the next kind of little rage was this Caribbean jerk chicken kind of feel.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I remember telling them, like, guys, Brian Lara knows South Africa. He probably came once a year for 20 years. Like, if you've named a restaurant bar after him, like, he knows people that know, like, he could.
How cool would it be if he came?
No, more the opposite. He could sue you. Like, you can't, you know, like, just be careful. But I don't think anyone cares.
But
He literally lives in a castle.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
The government of so he
The
played,
West Indies, right?
Yeah, so we're talking about Brian Lara, who's a very famous cricketer, for those who don't know. But in the West Indies, in one of these islands, the government like literally gave him a castle because he's
Okay.
like a hero for the folks of that part of the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't think he's caring what a bar in London names itself.
But I think it's lovely because I think Stefan Rousseau, who opened up that bar with his brother, I think
Yes,
they had
yeah,
gin in Greenside as well. His wife was our makeup artist, our head of makeup, like Amy
cool.
Rousseau Sprawson. So it's actually really beautiful to
I've
see.
I've met
Amy
her.
Sprawson
I know
Rousseau,
Stefan and them, yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So we had to, shoot outside of London as well because there's a lot of weddings in the film. Not a lot, 3. So we were
It's a lot.
it is a lot. We went out to where everyone does their weddings at Oakfield Farm, but they were super accommodating, and that's where there's the bridal expo.
Yeah, did you time it around that? And
We did.
And you shot
How
at
great
the
is that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was fortuitous because it fell right in our shoot. We did move the shoot a little bit to accommodate that.
Oakfield Farm is very interesting as a wedding venue, and the very first wedding I ever sort of witnessed there, I just remember feeling that it was all just too much. So it's this beautiful
Oh,
sort
they
of
have a
farm.
carriage. They have a horse and
They
carriage.
came in the
yes.
carriage, and I
Yes.
kind of know this because I arrived late and sort of scampered past them
Yeah.
while they were coming down this carriage that nobody really saw, but they obviously had it for their video. And I remember thinking, like, that's a bit much. And then when we were sitting, there was clearly they had ticked the harp package, and there was this lady playing a harp. And I just remember thinking, like, this is very cheesy. But it's their dream, and
Yeah.
that's awesome, and that's how you want to do it. And so I've got lots of respect for that. But I remember just feeling like I think I'm the kind of person that would want to do this a little differently. But it was just interesting seeing it and what should be
Yeah.
perfect and magical and exactly how you want it. But to me, I could almost see it more like a brochure that they ticked certain packages.
I think
Do
that,
you know
like,
that
yeah.
feeling that
Well,
like
if I
this
had
is just
to-
felt fake?
If I had to choose between there and Avianto, we also went to a bunch of weddings at Avianto, and I think Oakfield is a little bit more genuine. Avianto's kind of got that fake Italian kind of vibe to it.
Okay.
But Oakfield came on board because we were not doing a wedding there. We were doing the wedding expo, and they actually have a wedding expo coming up now.
Yeah,
you should
listen,
go. But we also
huge-
shot high
huge-
rollers there with the horse and the carriage and everything. I'm realizing now.
They
Yeah,
gave us the whole
so
package. We didn't have the
They
harpist.
gave us the whole package for
Yeah.
filming, which was incredible for,
I've got another question just about the logistics of filming in a place. How did you film at the Randburg police station?
Well,
How do you go about
Did we have 2 hours there, max?
yeah,
How
I
do
think
you go about that?
Yeah.
you contact their media liaison many months in advance because
Okay.
there's lots of paperwork to fill out, and you know somebody, and we needed to be in we wanted to do it
Holding
at
cell.
Linden Police Station actually, but that place.
Okay.
God bless all the hardworking men and women of
Yeah,
Linden
yeah.
Police Station, but it is not cinematic at all. And we had shots at, which is
I don't
really
think
gross.
any police station is, but
No, but
yeah.
I mean, Randburg
Yeah, yeah.
is more of an administrative building than.
Okay.
So it's got, 3 or
Magistrates
4.
Court, yeah.
Exactly. It's right next to the magistrate court. It has 3 or 4 levels. And there's a holding cell with an open air skylight. So that's
Oh, that's
great
good
for
for
lighting.
lighting, yeah.
And we shot that once before. We shot high rollers there as well, the very first season.
Okay, so through that you got a little contact on the
Yeah,
inside.
I have a list of government workers on my phone that I got to get a hospital, I got to get a magistrate's court, I got to get a police cell. I know who to call. Yeah.
That's interesting. Because with the moment I saw that scene, I was like, how on earth do you get to film in the police station?
You just, and then you pitch up there, and before the head honcho knows what's happening, then you start filming, and don't worry, we'll be out really soon, and you just move as quick as you can.
Lovely.
Oh, but here's a little strange caveat within South Africa's legal system. You're not allowed to pretend to be a police officer, right? You're not allowed to wear a police officer uniform unless you're a police officer.
On screen.
Sure. On screen.
So any police officer you see in a police officer uniform is supposed to be an actual police officer. So we have to hire them for the day.
And we waited.
Just stand around extras without any acting ability whatsoever.
When they pull Frank in and he's come out with having used the credit card and he's got the beautiful majestic television.
Yes.
The two policemen with him we have to wait before we film because they're arriving and then they have to pull him and we have to explain, please don't pull him too hard. You have to just pretend to pull him back. He'll move with you, But
I would art house filmmaker that shit. I'd be like, do it. Do how you normally do it. Okay, that's very interesting. That it has to be.
On soap, on everything. You
got
have
into
to
a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Like either you get the real police officer or you remake their uniform that it's different enough that a real professional would know the difference, but the general public wouldn't. So I did a series.
Spindicelo.
Yeah, 5.
But can you do that then?
I did it 5-6 years ago. I did a version of a movie called a 26-hour-long drama for ETV called Spindicelo, which is a modern day retelling of the Count of Monte Cristo, and the guy spends a lot of time in jail, obviously, as you know from that story. And so we had to remake and redesign the orange jumper suits, the correctional services jumpsuit, and then all of the prison guards' uniforms, etc. And we found there's a psychiatric hospital in Krugersdorp which has these blocks that look exactly like a prison, and it worked out perfectly. They moved the mental patients into a different ward for us, and then we got into some real trouble because these extras were filming scenes of themselves, like reenacting a prison break, and these prisoners beating up a police officer, a correctional services officer, and then that got out on social media, and 702 was like, what's going on, who's doing this? And then the correctional services spokesperson got in touch, and these people need to be brought to justice, this is wrong, you can't do that. Oh my goodness, it was a real pain in the butt. But you can go wrong. So now I just hire the cops and come and do it for us.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Lovely, man.
Yeah. So, it was a fun shoot, quick shoot, 19 days.
Okay. Because that also has to be a thing sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a license for Netflix, so it's not an original. So we don't have that original cash to do everything we want. But we managed to fit it in and get it done really well. And
got an excellent cast and crew, excellent crew, like top-notch crew. And the less days you shoot, the better you can pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it counts for
Marna
something.
Yunus did production design. Tom Murray was the DOP.
What is the difference between all the different things with Netflix? A difference between a license or an original?
So things they're taking a risk with, or that they're trying to kind of experiment with in the market, they will, like Afrikaans content specifically, they'll say, okay, cool, we're going to make a commitment to it, but not as much of an original commitment, as in whenever it's a Netflix original, they will, whatever the budget needs to be, they'll pay.
Back it, yeah.
But with a license, they're like, okay, this is the fee we're paying for this license. If you can't make it for that, then, add more to it or find out the sponsors.
Then that's on you,
yeah. So the fee they gave us was enough for us to make it, but it's modest, and then they don't give it as much marketing support as you would hope, because
they'd rather just drop it in and sort of see how it does. Yeah.
Well, they do that anyway with all of their stuff, and I was so surprised because, like with Lucky Fish or any of the traditional releases we've done, it's the build up to the launch, right? To the day, to the thing it starts. You got to do so much marketing and campaigning and blah blah blah. With them, they're like, no. Let's try and bring it as close to the launch day, the publish day as possible. If on the publish day, all your publicity can happen that day, that's the best, because our audience has a very short attention span. And so whenever they hear of something, they want to get it right now. If you tell them about it a month ago, you're wasting that PR that you're working on.
Interesting that the attention
It's
span's
completely
moving
different
that way.
to cinema, yeah.
Also, they know that it's going to be on the platform for the next 6 years. So they say, well, let's put it on, see who responds. They've got all the data, all the analytics. Say, okay, this audience is responding, so then we'll put some more money into that, and we'll make another video.
Very risk adverse. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Interesting.
Brazil liked it. We
I
were
was
number
about to-
3.
I was about to say. So how has the response been?
I think we should do a co-production with Brazil.
I'm working on one of those. Not an Afrikaans one, but look, I think that the international response has been great. The local response has been great as well. But like we're saying, romcom has this, audience, this market that specifically loves it. And we know Brazil and either the South American communities love that kind of slightly...
The South Americans have famously had the sort of very soapy soaps.
Exactly.
Where there's always been the joke of those
Very dramatic, yeah.
Spanish language.
I mean, Ugly Betty was, what is it? La Fée Betty, I think it is. It was an original, it was a telenovela from South America. So we were number 3 on Brazil for a couple of weeks in their top 10 Netflix movies. And we were in the top 10 with South Africa. We got to number 3 as well. And it's been great. We've loved it. People who've watched it have thoroughly enjoyed it. It's not, a hard watch. It's very easy. It
is nice and easy in that sense.
It's light and fun. There's lots of great music all the way through. We got some fantastic musicians. What's his name?
Jacob Swan,
Jack Parrow, Huys from Lyrica Rauch, who's a personal favorite of ours.
Yeah.
And I think it's colorful and friendly and lovely and beautiful. We put our hearts and care and love and attention into it over 20 years of our lives, effort into trying to make this film. We tried to do it desperately before we had kids. We couldn't quite pull that one off. Brazil was great. Martinique, Reunion, all these strange little island nations who somehow really enjoy rom-coms and with Netflix. 350 million households, it's nuts. It's crazy. They did a French dub, a Spanish dub, Portuguese, German. So it's all over the world. You can watch in many different languages.
I think that's been one of the biggest treats of the streaming world is like when you do make a film as a South African, just how the eyeballs just see it around the world.
Yeah,
I think
that's incredible.
That's
we wouldn't have
amazing.
had that 15 years ago, and we would have had incredible stress getting people to watch films. I think of myself, like I just want to be able to pause it if the kids are yelling in the middle of the evening and I can pause it, go to them. It's hard. The cinema experience has become harder and harder to get people to lock in and watch it at night. Yeah.
We're sitting here, a hop, skip and a jump away from AFTA where I studied. And I remember Garth Holmes and Bart Bashir, the founders of AFTA, saying that, calling it a long time ago. They had young kids and they were at Rosebank watching a movie and I think it was Bart's son or daughter, I can't remember, was watching the movie and then made this action of trying to pause the movie during the film. And he said, guys, this is where the future is. This is the generation who's coming up. They're coming up with a totally different interaction, a totally different relationship with content.
They'll still watch it, but they'll pause it.
Yeah. Or they'll watch 3 different things at the same time.
Well,
they'll multi-screen.
There's the Pitt that's on now, and I think it's Noah Wiley has kind of said you can't bring your phones onto set because he says that's part of the thing of building relationship and bonding with other actors is you play games, you discuss things, you're not on your phone. Yeah. The other thing is he's kind of like...
Tarantino does that famously, right?
Yeah, but I think and also said like no music. You've watched the Pitt, but he says as soon as there's music and it's... to be emotive, his kids pick up their phones. They're disengaged because they know you're making me feel something, so they've removed it. I thought that was so
from the
interesting.
soundtrack?
That's
right.
Production.
Yes, that's right. That's another one I was going to mention. I really enjoyed the second season as well. The Pitt.
The Pitt.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a big Emmy winner. I haven't seen any of it. It's a hospital drama.
It's a hospital drama. Noah Wiley's been playing a doctor for the last 30 years.
Yeah, he's just like fits right in.
Yeah, and it's...
Because he was in ER.
Yes, and not to get too far off track, but it is
this is the track.
It's the Pitt is 15 consecutive hours of a doctor's shift. So every episode is the next hour in that shift.
Oh, sure.
And
it's a nice premise.
A very cool premise, but incredibly demanding and brutal and excellently written. And he wrote a number of episodes, Noah Wiley himself, and directed a number of them as well.
Yeah.
Very impressive. Anyway.
No, but let's talk about what we're watching and what we're enjoying. Do you guys know about the 4 seasons?
Yes.
Yes,
The second
yeah.
season of that is coming,
fun.
right? Or is
No,
it
it's out. It's
Okay.
out. We've been binging it. It was based off an Alan Alda film.
Right, and he made an appearance in it
He
as
makes
well.
an appearance in it, but this is a great show on Netflix where it tracks the lives of 3 couples, one of which is a married but are they ultimately happy couple, and the testing of their relationship. The other,
and that's Tina Fey.
that's Tina Fey and
Yikes, what's his name? I forget now.
he was the last man on earth. I've made notes.
He's hilarious. He was
Have you seen that TV show?
MacGruber.
Yeah, MacGruber. Yeah.
Okay, while you're doing that, another is a gay couple played by Domingo Coleman. Coleman? Yes, I want to say.
Yes.
And a very flamboyant, funny Spanish man.
Yes, Italian.
my bad,
And
Italian.
you'll see in season 2, Italy plays a role. It is Will Forte.
That's
who
right.
we are imagining. So a gay couple, this kind of married couple, and then the other one is a couple with Steve Carell and another actress, and their relationship is like on the rocks.
Yeah, I mean, the first episode is
them kind of
divorcing.
getting
yeah.
a divorce. Yeah.
And I thought it was so great how she knew it was coming, like
Yeah.
subconsciously knew
Yeah.
something is wrong.
But what makes this show smart is that we just see them on their holidays as friends across the seasons. So it's like 2 episodes a season.
Yeah.
So you're in spring and then you're in summer and so you can cut through a lot of plot to sort of just get to like, oh, she's pregnant, or like, oh, he died. You know, like you can cut to a lot.
Spoiler alert, Steve Carell dies in season 2. At the end of season 1.
At the end of season 1, we know that Steve Carell dies. Steve Carell's actually had 2 tragic deaths in TV shows. Both this and The Morning Show. He dies in the same
That's
way.
right, that's
He sort
right.
of, it's like that go to pick up a pack of cigarettes but dies on the way. Like, it's funny, it's happened twice. But everyone's kind of their worst. It's an interesting character piece. No one is like perfect in the show, so everyone kind of reveals like we are flawed, we have our problems, we're making selfish decisions. So it's like it's a relatively it's not the happiest of shows.
Yeah, slightly depressing.
It's a little depressing.
And I had a
but-
friend who was like, people are like, what is it about? And it was Lauren who said, she's like, if you don't work at your marriage,
Yeah.
watch that show because you're going to stop working at it or you're going to end up like them.
But it's a very funny show. There's this great scene where they go into the small little town and Coleman Domingo's like, this is the town that Tracy Chapman wanted to speed away from.
Oh.
I love those like very smart little lines.
I actually like her, the relationship dynamic I enjoy the most is between Coleman Domingo and Tina Fey and their
Yeah, they besties and they've got a
the
sort of
tension
friendship.
between their friendship. Yeah.
And they're sort of a little bit catty and a little bit sort of funny to each other. So yeah, season 2's out. I think it's a good watch. It's a nice little character study. It's a nice exercise in writing.
Speaking of Steve Carell, though, I think he left that show to start Rooster, right? This
Yeah, I've
other
heard
one.
about it. I don't know Rooster though.
It's a lot of fun. He plays a novelist, kind of like not a Mills and Boon, not as bad as that, but like a commercial trashy novelist.
Yeah.
So he hasn't reached the apex of his novelist writing, but his daughter is a professor at a small college university, which I think he went to as well. And her life is imploding. Like her husband has left her for another man and she's getting fired from her job. And he comes to try and help her and try to figure out how I can, be a support to you.
People say it's amazing.
It really funny. And then he gets roped into like taking a professorship there
Oh, wow.
in the university.
Okay.
So a lot of great comedic talent in it.
Where is it available?
HBO, I want to say. I don't know. I think
Okay.
HBO, yeah.
So have you managed to find it off torrents, or how do you manage to see it?
Sure.
It's the only way to see it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, things are, it's changing so rapidly
Yeah.
with the whole Multichoice thing going down. That's where HBO's lives.
Normally would have been, right?
Yes, and on Showmax and that service, that was one of its big pulls, I think.
That totally was.
Showmax had these, 24 hours later, you got the brand new, US things happening there, and that's not available anymore.
Is Showmax done?
Showmax is dead as of the
End
1st
of
of May.
April, yeah.
First-
And even
first
the
of
end
May,
of
yeah.
April, people were like, I'm switching on my TV, but it's not there anymore.
And I love how right at the end they gave Showmax people a name. They called them Showme's or something.
Oh, right.
And I was like, that's a little too late to get all buddy with us after you've imploded this relationship.
Oh, man. That thing...
Well, hopefully some money goes to DSTV Stream because that was the cuckest app out of all of them.
D-Stream, yeah.
And hopefully some tech and some servers are making that work better. But that was definitely the poorest of cousins in the streaming world. So
that's where all the content is now, right?
Yeah, well,
so they've
hopefully it
shifted
just
it all
gets
across
better.
there. And what's going to happen is that My Canal, which is the French Canal Plus version, which is operating in Africa in a lot of Francophone territories, will expand, and probably that's what will be the VOD offering here in South Africa.
Okay, is that what you're predicting?
I think so. I mean, they killed Showmax, so to now have to relaunch something from scratch, I think that would be probably a mistake.
If the Canal Plus have got the majority share of Multichoice,
yeah. That's right. The Frenchies own it. All the decisions are going through Paris, bro.
Interesting.
It's hectic. I've speak to a lot of my friends, a lot of people I know there, and it's hard to get decisions made. Anything above a certain budget threshold needs to get approval from Paris.
I see they've given up that very strategic billboard on Santon Drive, where Santon Drive meets Winnie Mandela.
Oh, yes, yeah.
We had a guest on who was the marketing guy at Hamnet, and he's like, we'll never give up that. I will never give up that spot because it was always famously what's happening on DSTV
Well,
for the longest time, and now it's
not you anymore.
Car insurance.
It's not
So
you.
someone at Multichoice in the offices was like, "We're paying how much for this billboard?"
Well, you're seeing a lot of that happen, right? So I mean, the Frenchies bought basically what was a failing business for 36 billion rand, and had to jump through a lot of hoops from the Competition Commission to get that done, and now are discovering a lot more skeletons in the closet, i.e. this new case that's just come up, the Competition Commission with a satellite installer and a Multichoice who for the last 15 years has been price fixing around the cost to install a satellite dish, etc., so they're having to deal with that. I mean, the fine, the Competition Commission fine is 10% of your turnover for however many years you were, if they find you guilty of this, right? So it's a pretty big potential risk. That combined with now cancelling Showmax, combined with the Competition Commission said you're not allowed to fire anyone, right? So there's a firing freeze for 3 years. So they're not firing anyone, but they are offering voluntary retrenchment packages where you get 3 months retrenchment and 1 week for every year completed service at Multichoice, which is not a great package in my
But it's
opinion.
interesting that the Competition Commission's involved because obviously they were running this kind of monopoly. I guess there was never really any other.
So, I mean, if there's a sale of any, they're involved because Multichoice owns a broadcast license, which is, according to our law, needs to be owned by a wholly owned South African entity. And now this French company is coming to buy a local Multichoice. So they got around that by spinning out the license company. So that will be the company that owns the licensed broadcast and Multichoice itself. But whenever there's a big deal like this happening, a big merger or acquisition, the Competition Commission wants to make sure that they approve it and gets involved, etc., especially because Multichoice was a listed company on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. So no job losses for 3 years. You have to spend the same amount of money on content that you were spending for the last 3 years in the next 3 years. And everyone thinks that's a big number, 21 billion. And it is a big number, but it's the same as what they were spending the last 3 years. It should be more if you take inflation into account.
Okay.
And we're not clear on how much of that 21 billion goes towards original programming, because it covers license deals for movies, it covers sports rights, it covers carriage license arrangements because Multichoice carries so many different channels on their service. So a lot of question marks there. And if you are, say, for example, you're a commissioning editor or someone on staff in Multichoice, you've got job security for the next, 2.5 years?
That's quite something.
I mean, yeah.
In these times, I think in how the industry is at this moment, I would keep it.
Yeah,
if
it's
I was
very,
in, yeah.
we are still, in case you hadn't noticed, it's still really, really rough out there.
Yeah, I think we have had such a lovely long chat, but perhaps you can give a little bit of an update on the state of things. I don't know how much I can compress your time in, but
Well, what do we got? Where are we at now?
maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay. Look, let me start with the DTI. So a lot of effort went into, marching. And the last time I was here with Graham and Cole, we gave a deep dive there so people can go and look at that.
Yeah, we'll give a link to that.
But the result of that was a portfolio committee meeting where the DTI minister, Parks Tau, and his DGs all came and kind of got a bit of a rap on the knuckles.
He used to be the mayor of Joburg.
That's right.
Yeah.
And basically, the committee members were not aware of the extent of the damage that not having a functioning rebate tax system for the last 2 years has happened. So what has been great is us being able to bring everything to light and pull it all back and see what happened, where did it go, what did you do with the money, why hasn't it been working, and try to get the thing up and running again. And we're close to that. They've received their new budget they received the budget in 3-year increments, and this is 26 is the start of the next 3 years. And so they have this budget apportioned to them and confirmed the 26th of May. They had a budget vote recently. So they're getting this year's budget. The problem is that there is a debt that they still owe to a lot of productions before
anyone new can be paid.
Yeah. And we're trying to get them to be like, well, can we chew gum and walk at the same time? Let's pay that debt and let's start adjudication meetings for the next cycle so that we can go out to Cannes and to Toronto and the rest of the world and say, hey, we're open for business. Please come back here. Because a lot of the big productions that come shoot here, I think of Raised by Wolves, the Ridley Scott production that shot 2 seasons down in Cape Town. The incentive for that was 50 million rand. Okay, that's the cap. That's the most the government would give. They ended up paying over 61 million rand in taxes, that production alone. So it makes total sense for the incentive to work because it really does bring huge work into this space. It's not working currently. We are hopeful that by November, when there should be the next finance minister's midterm speech, it's not Enoch Godongwana anymore. There's a new guy's taken over. I can't remember his name. And we want for him to be in his speech to say, we found a solution for the film incentive. Projects, bigger budget projects will receive a tax credit, which is a different funding format than the tax incentive. And then that should solve a lot of problems. We have much more money in the budget available for the local South African rebate. So that's that. A lot of work is still going into that. Yeah. We're having active meetings. We're meeting.
And who is we when you say we?
So we formed the producer-led coalition called the Save SA Film Jobs Coalition, which is 17 different members. Okay. The lead members there being SASFED, the IPO, Independent Producers Organization, the Documentary Filmmakers Organization, the Writers Guild, the Actors Guild, all of these different...
It's nice that I think it's brought you together at a time when I think maybe you wouldn't have normally all met.
Yes, especially...
Or all come together or all formalized. It was like during COVID when they were talking about rules and things being gazetted. And I think the whole of South Africa, or a big portion of South Africa was like, what's a gazette? And now, this is how rules work.
Yes.
This is how things happen. Something has to be gazetted.
Yeah.
And once it's gazetted, then it becomes law and then it becomes a rule. Okay.
Yeah,
so we actually all learn how this thing works. And it's actually tests. I also said COVID was also such a lovely way to sort of test every chairman of every association of every group, whether it was golf or tennis or,
or the film fund.
Or the film fund. And had everybody go, now I'm being tested. In a moment of crisis, this is when it really counts. Okay, so you guys have stepped up.
Yeah, so we formed this coalition because in when was it? Feb 25, we had a march in front of the DTI building, and we got a couple meetings out of that, but nothing meaningful. Then we organized another 2 marches at the beginning of this year, 27, 28th of Jan, one outside DTI offices again, and another one outside Parliament in Cape Town, because we realized that the DTIC, we're complaining to them, but actually we should be complaining to the oversight body, the Portfolio Committee, which is a parliamentarian, 17 different parliamentarians that make up this committee from different parties all over the country, and we like they're supposed to be checking, hey, DTIC, are you doing your job? And they're not, so those are the ones we complain to. So I'm hopeful. I hope before the end of the year we'll have some good results there, but it's the wheels turn slowly, and trying to figure out how
She's just, as long as you're moving in the right direction. I'll never forget something that honestly changed my life was hearing Obama talk about if I can just shift it by 2 degrees, because it is a big shift. He was just talking about the economy, or he was talking about something to do with American politics, but he's like, if you can just manage 2 degrees, then in however many years' time you can see the difference of where your paths changed. You might not see it in his time, which
generation,
is just 8 years, but you can really see where this could take you eventually.
Yeah, or if you shift it in 2 degrees in the wrong direction, then you end up with $37 trillion overspend.
No, and I'm old enough to have felt that in relationships, both professionally and personally, where it's like, are we a degree towards each other, or are we a degree apart?
Yeah.
And you can't tell until it's been however long. Or
That's great, yeah.
What's been so funny
way to see the world is just like, are we heading...
Oh my word,
even if it's 1 degree, is it in the right direction?
Oh wow.
And so we do applaud you, because those kinds of things come back to me in my little professional room that we're sitting in, the Bioscope. Like, will we get good South African films? Or in 2 years' time, is there going to be none because of something that happened 3 or 4 years ago?
Will we just be servicing international studios the rest of our lives? I hope not.
Yeah.
I think that the good South African films have a lot to prove, because that's the one that unfortunately they don't make the money back, because there's not an ecosystem for it, and there's not enough of a demand for it, and we're not good enough at making incredible films that really gain a global audience.
Sure.
It's a tough one. In terms of the broadcast space, Multichoice and Canal Plus, we spoke about that. There's a big slowdown. There hasn't been a return to the commissioning levels they need to be. SABC is still suffering. Every week there's a new drama there. We're engaging with them quite actively about trying to figure out, like, they sit in their towers of Mordor over there, which you can see if you poke your head out of the Bioscope here, and they don't. And there's a huge disconnect between the industry and SABC. I don't know what's going on there, and they don't know what's going on here. And we need each other.
Yeah.
We need to make stuff, and you need moving, talking pictures on screen to get your audiences.
You can't just get a rerun of Anaconda again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
That would be great if it was that.
Yeah.
Compared to what is out there. Yeah.
And I
Interesting,
make the comparison to SABC's kind of like Smaug sitting on a treasure, because there's these
Nice little nerdy Hobbit reference. Yeah.
There are these IPs that they've been developed, that they spend millions of rands developing over decades, and they're not doing anything with it. So we're trying to get them to loosen those strings a bit. ETV are consistent, but really aiming at a kind of a broad black audience, mass audience, which is good and works for them, but it's harder as a producer to get in there and make distinctive stories and movies.
But what is interesting and completely liberating, and perhaps hopefully that we can see this as an optimistic, hopeful end to our conversation, is YouTube. Here we are thinking, and this is where those guys in the ivory tower will no longer have that much ivory, is like around the world, YouTubers are getting legitimacy. And their own individual production, where they don't need some guy behind a desk going, I'll give you this, or you do this. You've got these guys literally right now in an economy like America topping the box office with micro budget films that have shot the lights out, and their legitimacy and their audience is built in through their YouTube.
I think that's
It's rare and it's
so
small, but it's the start of
I would
something.
say
Yeah.
there are equal amounts of failures as there are successes. I think
totally.
you're talking about Iron Lung with
Well, it was Iron Lung and now Obsession and
Yes.
Backrooms. So it's in the horror world. It's in a particular world.
yes, but then there are Bus Boys, right? With the podcaster Theo Von and
No, totally. But
David Spade, which was a huge failure. So
Sure. But you'd love this. We get multiple calls a day and multiple emails from people thinking that we are Josie Biscope, which is a YouTube channel that does this kind of reality TV where they go and accost your neighbor because he owes you money. It's a little trashy.
classic.
But there is a huge audience for
Russell,
it.
you should totally cash in on that. Be like, yes, you just have to deposit 500 Rand to this bank account if you want us to come to
Shame these
check
folks
you
that,
out.
these folks that mail and message are like quite desperate people. And so like I've got this very apologetic template, which is like, I'm sorry. We're not Josie Biscope. And some of them like are insistent. I'm like, we can't help you. We're a cinema. And I really wish that this channel made their sort of applications a little more clearer.
But how do you monetize YouTube is my big question, right? How do you
Well, they do pay out a fair amount.
Sure, however many thousand
Sure.
views and clicks or whatever, but it's nowhere near enough. You need it to be,
Sure. No,
and you have
I
to
know,
be. You have
I
to be
know.
producing the content and the volume.
Well, but what's
to make it
interesting
sense.
is the evolution of these guys now monetizing themselves with a cinema event.
yes,
And I think they're making money there. in
none of that is
sense.
coming from Africa. None of it, the audiences here. You know, the YouTube reality TV stars that are making money through monetization are putting out content every day, sometimes multiple times a day. And that's what you need to be. You have to arrive every day at YouTube and build your audience that way.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that for people who are trying to make bespoke pieces of art.
Nah,
You-
sure.
for-
Okay. I mean, I was trying to give a little
Positive
perhaps
spin.
an optimistic view to the future where you do have these tools that are a little more liberating, and we'll see what happens.
I think
But,
the place for YouTube is to put your concept out there to say, hey, this is my voice, and to build an audience. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember
Suzelle.
built an audience, and on the
Yeah.
back of that, here we got
Suzelle
all the
DIY.
Tully stuff.
the showdown, the Tully stuff, the Suzelle show. Ari's coming out with a new show soon, a new 8-part
Let
half
him
hour.
tell it. Yeah.
So I won't say anything about it, but that was they built that success of DIY. Yeah, Suzelle DIY.
So yeah, that's one way to do it.
Yes,
But
and
I just-
and thank goodness for Netflix,
Yeah.
who are producing content and making stories and
Totally.
entertaining South Africans and keeping the South African film industry, at least a corner of it, alive.
100%. I just love how we've got this very complicated, messy, cupboards of bureaucracy and mismanagement. And then we've got this really delightful, lovely film. And I love how those two stand side by side, where off the back of all the, bureaucracy and stumbling blocks, we get to make a beautiful, happy film.
Yeah, that
That's
you
just-
kind of want just people smiling
That
and
just leaves the world
forgetting a little bit about how
happy.
things, and a bit of like nostalgia, like, oh, I've kind of seen this before. I've kind of seen this rom-com before, but I really like returning to a good piece of chocolate cake.
No, and also, yeah, she's empowered and she finds her voice and finds her sort of purpose, and yeah, it's lovely.
And a great dance sequence at
And
the
a
end of the
great
movie.
dance sequence. So well done, guys.
Thanks.
Congratulations on a lovely, happy film.
Thank you for watching it.
Of course, man. No, it was
we
a great
make it so people will watch it.
It was a great Sunday afternoon romp. It was everything that it needed to be. So
Exactly
so
what
thank you.
we're going for. Romp. That's what we wanted it. That's on the box. I'm going to use that for if we ever do a DVD release.
Please,
The
it's-
Bioscope
I'm
is
sure
a great
we'll find
Sunday
a DVD
afternoon romp.
release on the side of the road
Yeah.
one
The
of these days.
the video store has got a goal. I've got a goal for us as a podcast. I want to be on a poster or some kind of cover
Okay.
with a quote from the video store.
I see you, Russell.
That's
I'll take you
my-
there.
That's my dream. If I've done that, then I can turn to Graham and all of them and be like, "We've done it, boys. We've arrived." But lovely, thank you guys.
Thank you for having
your
us,
time.
yeah.
Once again, well done on
Thank
such a lovely
you.
film. And here's to many more.
Awesome.
I know, Luke, you've got many irons in the fire. So I hope more lovely irons get made.
I hope so too. We're working on a
lovely.
6-part
Keep going.
series with
And
Netflix.
thank you for all the good work, man, and behind the scenes to keep this industry going. So thank you.
Yeah.
Because that is a tireless effort, and we appreciate you. You're doing the Lord's,
the Lord's
work.
work. Let me just give myself a plug if I can.
Of course.
Being on this, and it's inspired me a little bit because producers don't really have a space to talk much, and
Yes.
and it's a lonely job. And I've decided to start a producing podcast.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, called The Producer Files, because kind of like playing off the X-Files, no one really knows what a producer does. It's a
No,
mystery.
they
So we're unpacking the mysteries of being a producer in South
Oh, have you
Africa.
started?
No, not yet, but it's
Okay.
coming. It's coming.
No, you got to get a little blocks together and go. But yeah, we'll give that a lovely shout out when it's done.
I appreciate that.
And also through the Bioscope, there's also many different ways I can help.
All right,
Support
thanks, man.
that.
I appreciate that.
Lovely.
Cool.
Thank you for
Cool.
having us. It's
Thanks,
awesome
guys.
being here. Yeah.
We'll see you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.